You could say that the warfare scene had fundamentally changed when the United States launched the first missile from an armed Predator drone against suspected Al-Qaeda commanders in Afghanistan on November 14, 2001. Ever since then, drones evolved into the most recognizable tool of the war on terror throughout the course of the next 2 decades. U.S. drones costing millions of dollars were frequently used in targeted assassination campaigns, but only developed countries used them internationally. Unmanned aerial vehicles, or what is commonly known as drones, are changing the future of warfare. These remotely controlled devices are now a common sight in several defense operations and civilian use. But what does the future of warfare look like? Well, keep watching till the end to know more. You cannot deny the fact that drones or unmanned aerial vehicles are changing the face of war in the 21st century and also the future, both for combatants and civilians. There's a lot of debate surrounding the use of drones or autonomous unmanned vehicles to carry out targeted signature strikes against known or suspected terrorists and insurgents. These debates talk more about the effectiveness of drones, the predominant argument being that they are counterproductive because they infuriate local populations and governments, alienate potential allies, and serve as recruiting agents for insurgent movements and terrorist networks. Then there is the counter-argument, which is about drones being effective in proactively limiting insurgent and terrorist capabilities while also minimizing civilian casualties and collateral damage. These drones will also reduce the risk to the troops while being more flexible and cost-effective to deploy. So regardless of which side you are on, drones are here to stay, as this technology does have a vast number of applications beyond their use in combat operations. Drones have significantly shifted the cost calculations of warfare because drones can be deployed quickly for long periods of time at lower costs and lower risk to life for those using them compared to any crewed aircraft or ground forces projected over great distances. This makes it more likely for countries to prefer drone warfare instead of actually declaring war on other countries. Just in the UK alone, during the last 15 years, an increasing number of air missions have been carried out remotely by drones. The tasks that these zones carry might include targeted assassinations, bombings, and intelligence gatherings. The aerospace and defense industry were the first to deploy drones for counterinsurgency and defense, and they were successful in that domain. The drones today are far more advanced than what they used to be before, and they primarily serve the military around the world by targeting decoys all the way to research and development purposes. They can also be equipped with software to increase accuracy and reduce casualties. Yes, these drones still require operators, but it can be operated from thousands of miles away from the field of battle. In the future, however, we may not even need operators at all thanks to our AI systems advancing at a faster rate than ever before. Keep in mind that not every drone is created equal, which means there will be different types of drones that will be used by the military. This difference in operations makes them an invaluable asset, because of which they are already a crucial part of the military. Drones used in the military around the world are categorized into 3 main categories. First, you have the fixed-wing drones. This is the fastest military drone that is currently deployed worldwide. These drones are designed to take off and land just like airplanes, using wings instead of rotors for lift. Then you have the single-rotor drones. These drones, as the name indicates, consist of a single rotor. These look very similar to helicopters and are more durable than several other types of drones. But it does come with a cost, and that cost lies in its high maintenance. The development side of things are driven by commercial and civilian uses, from crop spraying to traffic management. And finally, you have the multi-rotor drones, which are the more straightforward option that the military deploys currently because they provide the best control over positioning and framing, because of which these are best used for reconnaissance and surveillance. These drones will make a lot of sense if the military can deploy different types of drones for very specific missions. But how exactly are these drones changing military warfare? The concept of using unmanned aerial vehicles is not new, but it is only now these drones have become more accessible in different shapes and forms. These drones have improved military capabilities across the world, and it will continue to change military warfare, all thanks to its enormous advantages. Drones are viewed as the future of warfare for 3 main reasons. They reduce risk to our soldiers, they are more accurate than other weapon systems, and technology will advance such that drones will eventually become even more accurate and efficient, making less accurate, efficient, and fallible human forms of war obsolete. Therefore, drones are considered as a leap forward in humanitarian technology and as a weapon of choice for future presidents, future administrations, in future conflicts and circumstances of self-defense and essential national security of the United States. These drones provide real-time information on target positions, terrains, and enemy movements to the commanders who are on the ground. Drones can also take closer footage without compromising the quality of both photos and videos compared to any other high-altitude aircraft. These are also a lot more affordable compared to conventional aircrafts in terms of both price and maintenance. Because drones are unmanned, they also reduce the risk of pilot injuries during mid-flight. These are also easier to operate. The good news is, if you want to get into this domain, you don't have to spend a lot of money on training like what you would do for an aircraft flight. These drones also do not require a runway and can easily fit in a backpack. Operators can also provide real-time information without risking their lives. The same information can also be conveyed to commanders to pass details about the positioning of their troops while ensuring safety. Drones are also extremely flexible because the military needs to be ready for anything within a short notice. These unmanned aerial vehicles also make perfect sense because they can be fully automated, which just increases the flexibility. These unmanned aerial vehicles do have several roles in the military, as they are not just designed to do just one thing. The first role would be reconnaissance, where drones will conduct surveillance missions by hovering over an area for an extended period of time. Then you have the command and control drones, where the drones relay crucial information on the enemy's positions and locations of strategic targets. This information is what allows the commanders to make better decisions and be a lot more efficient when they are in the field. Unmanned vehicles also play a major role in performing combat support missions, all thanks to its built-in target software that allows operators to hit their target with greater accuracy and precision. Drones also used for target practice for several training sessions by operators to improve their accuracy. The best part is that these drones are also equipped with several targeting software that's totally customizable to detect and respond to targets based on the given parameters without any human intervention. Then you have drones that can be used for handling military logistics by delivering couriers and assisting in delivering valuable supplies and equipment. Drones can also be used to evacuate injured soldiers and civilians. So you now know that drones already play a major role in the military and defense forces of several countries. So what's next for military drones? Well, ever since its initial development by the military way back during the Cold War, things have come a long way, all thanks to the improved technology that we have today. Unmanned aerial vehicles are becoming increasingly common, and they are seeing a lot more applications outside combat zones. Their functions will only be more sophisticated than ever before, including serving and monitoring large areas that would otherwise be very difficult using traditional means. With drones, things are different, as they come with pre-programmed flights. Drones also use built-in AI and integrated software that can help with several different functions, from search and rescue to 3D mapping. The stats can also be sent over and shared in real time with each other. Drones are also extremely useful in the agriculture industry, since they can tag, monitor, and predict plant health. This means all the research and development that goes into developing military drones can be repurposed for civilian drones. Banning drones as a technology is neither possible nor desirable, and we already have the regulation of drone use for commercial and civilian purposes, especially in the areas of air traffic and telecommunication. Even international humanitarian law and law of armed conflict offer some guidelines for the military application of drones, although their interpretation by the U.S. Department of Justice on the legality of lethal drone strikes against U.S. citizens abroad is disputed. For now, it's clear that drone technology will continue to advance and proliferate even further, and national and international security interests will be served by better drones than what we already have today. That being said, the temptation for more countries to use drones will not necessarily make the world a safer or a less violent space. Still, there are several questions that need to be asked. What will be the effect of drones on the mental health of the drone operators? Will they have to face the same trauma as the soldiers on the battlefield? Does this mean we finally need to redefine the concept of bravery in battle? How does distance affect the chances of these operations going wrong? What are the ethical and moral challenges of unmanned warfare today? How much harder will these challenges become in an era of autonomous drones? So many questions that we still need to find answers for. All we can do is wait and see what the future holds for the next generation of warfare. That being said, the temptation for more countries to use drones will not necessarily make the world a safer or a less violent space. Still, there are several questions that need to be asked. What will be the effect of drones on the mental health of the drone operators? Will they have to face the same trauma as the soldiers on the battlefield? Does this mean we finally need to redefine the concept of bravery in battle? How does distance affect the chances of these operations going wrong? What are the ethical and moral challenges of unmanned warfare today? How much harder will these challenges become in an era of autonomous drones? So many questions that we still need to find answers for. All we can do is wait and see what the future holds for the next generation of warfare.